Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I asked for no shenanigans. I asked for no tomfoolery. I've never seen so much tomfoolery and so many shenanigans go down in a singular football game. The Baltimore Ravens did not allow a touchdown and lost the football game. Where did it go wrong? About 10 different places, it feels like. Where do you start? It just from the beginning, we talked about how the Pittsburgh Steelers have this like voodoo magic against the Ravens, and the Ravens just never can find a way to pull out a win. This was from the start. Like, listen, I have to give respect to the game because the game didn't fool us. The game didn't. I'm getting really annoyed. I'm not gonna lie, guys, of my hat getting. All right. I'm sorry. It was blurring out my hat and it was really messing with me. So can't be mad at the game because from the beginning they told us that we were just simply going to have a game full of all of this bullcrap. Derrick Henry first fumble and I believe 538 carries. First fumble lost. Because of course, defense steps up, only allows 3. Then obviously you go down the field a few times. You get, I'll call it the greatest kicker of all time, Justin Tucker, misses 2 field goals. Okay, now you're up to a 9-point swing. You get the ball back with 41 seconds left in the half after you should be thankful, counting your lucky stars that you are somehow up in this game. 40 seconds left. I understand the Steelers had 3 timeouts. Run the ball. Hell, if you kneel it, I'm telling you the Steelers aren't taking any. They're just going to – you just run the ball, the half's over. You get cute. You do a screen pass. Patrick Queen makes a hell of a play. Strips likely. There's 3 more points. That's a 12-point swing. Ravens lose by 2. You can blame Tucker. Very valid. Very valid. Missed 2 kicks that he should have made. Difference in the game. You can definitely blame Tucker. You can blame coaching. I thought that 2-point conversion, it was confirmed it wasn't an RPO. It was a straight run play. What? That was the best play? 2-point conversion on the 2-yard line, and Derrick Henry's not in the game? You're not even having the threat of Derrick Henry on the field? Like, you don't have to go to him, but just the threat of Derrick Henry being on that field makes the Steelers have to look now down the middle. They have to look at the middle of the line. It opens up the outside. When you have I think it was Justice Hill, I believe, on the field for that, they know you're going out there. They know you're not going up the middle. You take away part of the game when you take out Derrick Henry in these massive situations. I agree with kicking the ball deep. You had 3 plays to, you got to stop him. Justin Fields made a really nice play, really boneheaded play, and then they got it on 3rd down. Lamar Jackson did not look good. A lot of overthrows, a lot of missed opportunities by the Ravens. Justice Hill, one of the best players, one of the most underrated players all year. I don't know what the hell happened on that interception. It was one of those things where you looked around and you're like, of course. Of course it did. Of course they got that. So all around, and I think that led to 3 points. So I talked about it on the pregame show. I said, what scares me about this game, I said the Ravens have to make sure that they do not lose the turnover battle and they cannot lose on special teams. The two things I said you cannot lose the turnover battle. You cannot give the ball away. The Ravens did 3 times. 3 times the Ravens gave the ball away. I said you have to win on special teams because the Patriots, the Steelers are one of the best special teams unit, if not the best in the game right now. Incredible coaching. They're good at what they do. You have to beat them on special teams if you're going to win, or at least make sure they don't beat you. How did it fare? Justin Tucker goes 1 for 3 on field goals. Chris Boswell 6 for 6, scores every single one of their points. That's how you lose. That's the difference right there. It's not like they were all chipping. I mean, Boswell hit from 50, from 57. He made some really nice kicks that you got to just tip your cap to. But this was one of those games where just I felt horrible for the defense. One of those games you feel horrible for the defense. We've talked all year about how tough this defense has been to watch, how it just feels like they go out there and they can't get it done. They're just allowing these massive plays. Defense played a damn good game. Didn't allow a touchdown. When the offense screwed them over, when the offense was giving them horrendous field position, fumbling in their own territory twice, the defense stood up and held them to a field goal. It's what the defense did. The entire game, the defense balled out today. If you would have told me going into this game that the Baltimore Ravens did not surrender a touchdown today, the Steelers do not score a touchdown at all, I'm telling you we win that game 99 times out of 100. The defense played to win. The defense put out a performance to go enable this team to win, in fact, to dominate. Because if you take away the short fields, I mean, the defense was playing out of their mind. Big 4th down stops. Tre'Davious White, we want to talk about a guy stepping up. Tre'Davious White made 2 massive plays. Tre'Davious White looks like a hell of a pickup so far in his very few reps with the Ravens. Once again, we had the same issues. Brandon Stevens can't get his head around. I don't know what happened to Brandon Stevens, but it's concerning. I don't know what the hell is going on, but the guy cannot get his head around. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing. And Joe, I know I have stuff I have to do, so we're trying to consolidate stuff right now. Okay, so we're working on it. We're working on it. Okay, yes, we're both live right now. I know. But this was. Let's just look at the stats. Let's go straight to the box score and let's talk about what it was, because this game, I don't know if it's demoralizing is the right word, but it kind of feels like it. It kind of feels like it. Lamar Jackson, 16 of 33 for 207 yards, a touchdown, interception. Derrick Henry, 13 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown. Isaiah Likely, 4 receptions for 75 yards. Obviously, the big fumble. Lamar ran for 46 more yards. He was using his legs a little bit more today. But even when he was using his legs, it didn't feel like he had confidence in running, like he was taking off. He had multiple opportunities, I thought, where he could have used his legs to maybe get 5-6 yards out of the scrambling out of the pocket, just kind of picking up some yards and keeping the chains moving. But instead, he forced himself back into the pocket, back behind the line, trying to get a throw off. I understand he wants to be throw first and kind of lean more on the throw. But if he's still Lamar Jackson, if Lamar Jackson gets the opportunity with open field to go make a play, I want Lamar Jackson going for it and going to try to take that opportunity 10 times out of 10. I still think Lamar Jackson's the most dangerous player in football with the ball in his hand. So in that aspect, I think you have to, if you're Lamar, you have to understand that, yes, we want you to be throw first. We want you to go through your reads. We want you to continue to look downfield. But when there is opportunity for you to just go and get 5 yards, 6 yards, turn 3rd and 8 to suddenly 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. it just feels like it's a massive difference, and that's the step I kind of want to see Lamar Jackson. And I don't want to say step because it would be kind of going back a little bit, but I want him to trust his instincts as well. Of like, it looked like a few times Lamar wanted to take off, and he was like, "Don't, like, stay back and try to pass." Those situations, I want to just let Lamar go. I want to just let Lamar go do his thing. Let Lamar go make plays. Let's talk about the 2-point conversion. So, the 2-point conversion. It's been confirmed. It was a run the whole way. There was no RPO. It was just try to get motion to the right, try to get the whole defense thinking they're going that way, sneak Lamar on sort of like a counter, and got blown up. It got blown up. I mean, as simple as that. It completely got blown up in front of their face. Then Lamar tries to be Lamar. Tried to make something out of nothing. You can't do anything. I have no idea why that play was called. I feel like that makes it, if you want to have the ball in Lamar Jackson's hand, I think it's got to be a pass in that situation, solely for the fact that give Lamar an opportunity to where if he has to throw it, he's got guys that he can throw it to. If he needs to run it, he's got guys that he can run it for, or he's got a lane where he can run it. It makes no sense to me to become so one-dimensional once again without Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry's on the field and you're doing some sort of option there, I'm better off with an option in a 2-point conversion than just a straight Lamar try to beat him to the sideline. It didn't make sense. It got blown up in their face, and then you're just sitting there. You're sitting there now. You have a decision on the kickoff. I just didn't like it at all. That was one of the biggest things that just left me shaking my head. Was you get the touchdown. It felt like you had all the momentum. You were passing well. You were getting protection on the pass. Guys were getting open. I just think in that situation, I want Lamar Jackson, 2-point conversion, game on the line. I want him passing the ball. If you want to roll him out, I'd roll Lamar out. Give him an opportunity that if he wants to run, if he has that lane, he can run. If he doesn't, he's got guys like Mark Andrews, like Isaiah Likely, Zay Flowers, Bateman. He then has his reliable guys there that he can go throw it for the 2 points. I hate putting all your eggs in one basket in what looked like a classic Lamar Jackson, please save us type play. If we just have Lamar run out and try to get blockers in front of him, then we got it. Then we're good. It felt like it was too reliant on the Steelers being fooled. It felt like if the Steelers sniffed it out like they did, it was just kind of doomed from the start. It's tough. It was a tough play. And Karen, couldn't agree more. Also said, saw you say Monken gets too cute. I agree. I think there was a few times today that they got too cute. And Tylan Wallace, once again, just is competing. The dude's a dog. Tylan Wallace, once again, very limited snaps, very limited opportunities, but had a nice play on the sideline. Go make a play, go make a grab, help get that drive going a little bit more, speed up the tempo on that final drive. Deontay Johnson. Deontay was open twice. Lamar missed him. I hate to say it, but Lamar Jackson missed Deontay at least twice. I'm not too worried about Deontay. If he still has no role within the next few weeks, then maybe. But I can't be too upset about Deontay because, one, we're not paying him much. If we're paying him like $500,000, and then you gave up 19 picks in the 6th round. I'm not too, if Deontay does stuff, he does stuff. If not, I agree. I think Tylan Wallace is one of those guys where the Ravens need to continue to reward guys who step up. Tylan's been a guy since day one, whether it's been early on in special teams, the punt returns, or the big play against Cincinnati. In every role he's asked to play, he seems to be coming up with a massive moment. with some big play, or even a play like today where it's something simple, just an out route. He gets the catch, gets upfield, gets out of bounds, stops the clock, keeps the chains moving. Tylan Wallace is a very smart, savvy player, and I think the team would benefit from having him out there more and giving him more opportunities. And I think he's earned that. Let's talk about, I want to kind of go back. I know we're all over the place here. My mind's racing a million miles an hour after this loss. I just feel like I don't know what to do. Marlon Humphrey once again came up with a massive interception when they needed it the most. I thought that was going to change the game. I genuinely thought at that moment, like, okay, here come the Ravens. Here we go. They're going to go down the field. Lamar's going to score. They're going to take the lead. We'll start with Marlon. Marlon Humphrey this year, 5 interceptions, has been everything the Ravens have needed from him this year. They needed Marlon Humphrey to step up and continue to play like an all-pro like he was a few years ago. They needed him to get back up to that level, and he's done so in spades. He's absolutely killing it. And the biggest thing is, we talked about it last week. Last Friday, me and Ryan got on here and talked about it after the Bengals game, and we said, hey, the defense right now, the thing is they're not making the plays all game. They're getting beat. But when the moments were big, guys like Marlon Humphrey in the Bengals game, like the 2-point conversion against the Bengals this time around, they're making big-time plays when they need to help bail out this offense. Or not even bail out the offense, but they're making the play when needed to keep this game alive. To, like in the Bengals game, the first one, the Marlon Humphrey interception. If that's not intercepted, Bengals go down and win the game. If Russell Wilson completes that pass today, 2-possession game's out of reach. Marlon Humphrey has been playing out of his mind this year, and I feel like it's got to get more respect than it has, because he's a guy that a lot of people were very weird about, especially last year. And I know there's a whole thing with he has a podcast and he talks to yada, yada, yada. When the guy's on the field, he has been balling this year. Marlon Humphrey has been everything you want out of your star cornerback. So the guys need him to continue to play like that. The guys need to continue to play like that. And King Allen, 32nd in penalties. I don't know what's wrong with the Ravens. It's just undisciplined football. It's just all around atrocious. Just how undisciplined they are. Like, it's concerning. It's concerning how undisciplined they are, because you can't expect a team. What was the final count today? Was it like 11 penalties or something? What was the Ravens had 12 penalties for 80 yards. 12 penalties for 80 yards. You don't win football games. Once again, 12 penalties for 80 yards. Steelers had 7 penalties for 45. You pretty much half them in both. Just unacceptable. So the Ravens lose the penalty battle. They lose the turnover battle. They lose special teams. You're not going to win games like this. They had 2 more rushing yards than the Steelers. They had 20 less plays than the Steelers. They had more total yards because of the final drive. Listen, the Ravens, this was a bad game. This was a sloppy game. This is a game that you look back on and look at us sitting here after a Ravens-Steelers game saying you're going to look back at this game and say how much you thought the Ravens had a chance and they couldn't take advantage of it. It is every single time the Ravens and Steelers meet, we have the same conversations, that the Ravens had their chances. At one point, they had the lead. It was in their control, and they couldn't get it done. They had opportunities. Even with all the BS, all the penalties, all the turnovers, all the missed kicks, the Ravens had an opportunity with 1:06 left to get a 2-point conversion to tie the game. They were still in it. They were still in it. These games always come down to these final plays, and the Ravens found a way to still be in it despite all the crap that they had to deal with, self-inflicted wounds, self-inflicted penalties, over and over, just kind of 2 step forwards, 1 step back when it comes to big plays taken away by penalties. Ravens still had an opportunity to win, and they couldn't do it. And it feels like that's the story of Ravens Steelers recently, is just ugly games where it feels like the Ravens still have an opportunity at the end, and then they just can't get it done. It's as simple as that. They just can't get it done. It's not a rivalry right now because the Steelers have won 8 of the last 9. It's not a rivalry. Ravens Steelers was the greatest rivalry in sports. It's not anymore. It's not a rivalry. You can't call yourself a rivalry when it's last 9 games, 8 of them have gone one way. So until the Ravens show up, and this was a chippy game. Don't get me wrong. This was a chippy game. It looked like we finally had some fire back in Ravens Steelers, and the Ravens just weren't able to get it done. So if the Ravens want to prove that this is still a rivalry, that all this chippiness isn't just fake tough guy talk, they got to win. You got to win, and you have to win in Baltimore. I understand you lose by 2 in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a good team. You're going to lose games to good teams, but this is, at this point, the Ravens, the only thing, I felt like the Ravens were going to split with Pittsburgh either way, but I really felt like if you would have grabbed the first one and grabbed momentum, you really could have changed the outlook of this AFC North division race. I thought maybe you could then steal the away game here, take momentum, take the home game, but now it's a must win. Next time you see Pittsburgh in 3 weeks? 2 weeks? So it's just another week where we sit here after a Ravens-Steelers game and look back and say, wow, the Ravens just repeatedly shot themselves in the foot. The Ravens repeatedly got in their own way, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. It was just, big play to Nelson Aguilar at the end, taken back by illegal man downfield. Big run by Henry, you get like illegal hands to the face. You even had obviously it ended up working out anyway. Odafe Owe gets his 4th sack. They then went back to review the play. Like, there were just so many weird things that happened. It was just such a weird football game. But at the end of the day, the Ravens sat there with an opportunity to win, to tie the game. They were still in it, and they couldn't get it done. Simple as that. You can blame Lamar in the offense. You can say the offense didn't play well. They didn't play well. Offense sputtered. When they got opportunities, they got downfield. Then the special teams unit let them down. Love this British. This loss made me madder than the phantom last step on the stairs. I couldn't agree more. Just a bad loss. Really, really bad loss. This is a loss that, once again, the Ravens are going to look back on and go, how the hell did you lose that game? You're sitting at 7-4, and I'm telling you right now, things ain't going to get easier. Things are not going to get easier, especially for Baltimore. You got to go to LA for the Chargers. You got the Eagles, who are playing some great football. You then get the Giants, which is the only NFC team to ever beat Lamar Jackson. You then are back against the Steelers. You got the Texans. You got the Browns. Ravens got work to do. I think they're safe to make the playoffs. I think that's very obvious. They're going to bounce back from this. They're a damn good team. But we talked about how this would affect the AFC North battle. This makes it almost impossible. Not almost impossible. It makes it very unlikely that the Ravens can win the AFC North. It makes it tougher. You got to rely on now other teams to beat Pittsburgh. Before you win this game, you control your own destiny. It's as simple as that. Win this game, you control your own destiny throughout. Would have been quick and simple, but no, not the Ravens. So, of course, there's got to be drama. They can never make anything easy. But the Ravens do fall to the Steelers 18-16. That's just such a Ravens-Steelers score. Like 18-16 just screams Ravens-Steelers. Like, I don't know how they do it, but these guys can never play just a normal football game. Like, I don't think the Ravens-Steelers has ever had just a normal football game ending. I mean, 18-16. Who the hell? Just another one of those games. It's just another one of those games. And a little bit shorter of an episode today. We got some things we got to get going on. But we'll be back tomorrow with the Ryan Ripken Show to break this all down more, talk about stuff more in depth, all of that stuff. Appreciate everyone to tune in. We go live after every. And Brooks, I'm wondering the same thing. Just a horrible game. But Baltimore loses to the Pittsburgh Steelers 18-16 and just another atrocious performance by the team. Just a messy game. Defense steps up. Lamar Jackson had his opportunities. Special teams lets them down. Story of the year. Someone just lets them down in these games. Going to look back on this as one that they should have won for sure. But that's going to do it for me, for Kevin and Zach React. Shorter episode today, I know. Hit that like button on your way out. We'll be back tomorrow with the Ryan Ripken Show at 3 o'clock. So tune in then. We're going to talk more about this Ravens game. We'll ask Nick Moore and all of them about this stuff. So that'll do it for us this time. And then I will see you all after next game. Choo-wee-wees.